Good boy, come on. How do? Interview going up Wednesday with Leanne. Lovely lady. Bit of a soldier, that girl. How do? So I'm going to talk about liquid Cosh today. Rapid Trank liquid Cosh. First of all, thanks to the geezer, the lad from Ashworth Hospital, who messaged me. He's enjoying the channel and says I'm bang on with Ashworth Hospital. I'll do a vlog next week, towards the end of next week, on Ashworth Hospital. Incidentally, next week, guys, Mental Health Monday, Andy. If you haven't already, I put the links in the description to this video. Done 4 videos with him on SSRIs, antidepressants, human growth hormone, steroids, and performance enhancing drugs. Going to do a question and answer Monday. The lad is very knowledgeable, and you know, we're not doctors, we're not recommending anybody takes this or doesn't take this. We're just trying to help people, put information out there. And like I said, it was a good response to them 4 videos. A lot of questions from people. So today, liquid Cosh. What is a liquid Cosh? Used to be able to use it in prison. The rules around prisons, mental health and that changed. Again, somebody might know when they did. If someone is clearly unwell, come on Stevie, clearly unwell, we'll take someone who's mentally unwell, you know, might be psychotic and the like, might be trying to harm people or harm themselves, not necessarily thinking that way, just incredibly unwell. They may well get a jab in the backside. I'm going to tell you about a couple of cases at prison. Just let me explain. Here's the thing. Sadly, a lot of people who are mentally unwell, they're taking meds, they feel okay, they feel they're doing well, and then they stop taking meds because they think they don't need them. People can become incredibly unwell in a very short space of time. I've seen a lad 10 days, fully functioning, lucid, playing pool, chatty, nice lad, 10 days, naked, doing all sorts of things to himself. Terrible. This way, Stevie. So these injections in the backside are for people, you know, they're at the extreme end of the mental health scenario, psychosis and that. First one I'll talk about is a lad I knew very well. He used to come in Strangeways. Very handy lad. Athletic when he weren't medicated. Meds put weight on everyone. Mental health meds, we've talked about it before. Bad side effect is weight gain. Anyway, people were scared of this lad. When he kicked off, it'd take a lot of staff, but he also put people on edge. You know, how he'd interact with you, how he'd move around. But had a really, really good understanding, good dynamic security, good staff-prisoner relationship, me and him. I could bring him down when he was on one, get him to do things that he needed him to do. I took him to Prestwich Hospital. He'd been in prison, and this is a cycle for a lot of people. A lot of his offences, the reason he came to prison, because he was mentally unwell. Mental illness, let's call it mental illness he had. Let's differentiate, you know, I don't know where it crosses over, but he had a mental illness. Like I say, a lot of time he came into prison. He might be manageable once you start taking his meds. Very dangerous lad. Took him to Prestwich Hospital. He was unmedicated at this point, but he was compliant. He was getting on with things, lucid. Like I say, got on well. So I was cuffed to him. We got to the ward. It was low secure ward. Spoke to the charge nurse. He's still cuffed at this point to me. So what had happened is, as prison staff, we would take this person to the hospital. At some point there'd be a handover, take the cuffs off, and you sort of release them into the custody of the hospital. So this charge nurse and doctor were there, knew this lad really well. Asked us whether he'd been taking his meds, says no. So doc says at no point are you to take the cuffs off. Obviously at some point we have to. Now he's double cuffed, which means he's cuffed in front of him, hands together with chub cuffs, and then from his wrist is another cuff to my arm. Here you go, kidder. So they've asked him to take meds orally, which he's refused. He's not got violent, he's just saying I'm not taking them, don't want to take them. I've had very little experience with medication, but apparently a lot of these meds just make you feel like shit till they get in your system, and he's not having it. He thinks he's okay, he thinks he's well, and he's not going to take them. So the doctor again says don't take the cuffs off. They were fearful. Now the staff that were there was a charge nurse, my size mental health nurse, and okay, they were just small. The staff that there were small. There was a lad and about 4 or 5 lasses, and they were small, they were tiny. They all seemed 5 foot to me. They were physically scared of him, they were young, and intimidated. And I've told you, plenty of prison staff used to be scared of this lad. So it's a bit of a Mexican standoff now. Now at some point we have to leave this mental health hospital. So our senior officer, next step up in management from me, who was IC in charge, he's not saying a lot. So I'm like talking to the lad. Yeah, I'm saying, come on, take these meds. I want to get off, you know, get home. I'm not taking them, Mr. Samworth. You don't know what they make you feel like. I says, no, I don't, but you know, can't spend all night here, me cuffed to you, because you won't take these meds. So the charge nurse, who knew him well, says, if you're not going to take them, you're going to get an injection in your backside. This is what happens. This is what had happened with a normal mental health patient, somebody who had a mental illness, who got to the point where they're going to harm other people or themselves. Yeah, they're at the extreme end. And I've seen a few in prison like that. So anyway, must be an hour later. I was pleading with him, you know, I got on well with the lad. I says, look, if you're not going to take him orally, you know, please have the injection. It's one or the other, and then we can get on. So in the end he agrees. So, Stephen, come here. Come off that. Come here. So in the end he agrees. So we're in a seclusion room now. So a seclusion room is, it's as close to a padded cell as you probably get now. If you imagine what a padded cell would be way back when, for people who were unwell, he put them in a cell that was literally padded so they couldn't harm themselves, couldn't do anything. There's nothing in there. There's no bed, stuff like that. There's just a plinth. There was a shower, but it was plumbed into the wall, high, you know. There's nothing that people can pull off, get hold of, sharp edges, corners, things like that. As few ligature points as possible, that sort of thing. It's a safe place, or as safe as you can make for someone who is, you know, mentally unwell, has mental illness, and is at the far extreme. So we lay down on the plinth, the bed. I'm laid next to him, literally. He says, Mr. Samworth, if you don't know what it's like. I said, joking, and he did laugh, it's going to hurt me more than it's going to hurt you, lad. You know, he sort of laughed. He says, please don't. Anyway, he had the injection in his backside and we left him. So, speaking from other people's experiences, if you're incredibly unwell, one person described this injection, having this injection in your backside, as you're still incredibly unwell, but you just can't do nothing about it. He says, imagine you're coming forward at somebody and they've got a baseball bat and they keep hitting you in the face, and eventually you just pass out, or, you know, you're that damaged you can't do anything. That's what it's like. It's an extreme measure. Some of the sort of medicine you'll be taking, again, if you're a mental health nurse or in that, please don't pan me. Injection might contain aliperidol, lorazepam. You know, these are sort of gonna, you know, have an effect. They're gonna bring you down, level you out, or whatever. There is a next level. Lorgactil, Accuphase, something similar. This is, you know, these drugs. First of all, the injection. It's like injecting treacle into your veins. I think it's promazine. They might be putting in you. It's going to take an elephant down. Again, really not pleasant. However, you know, it's designed for a purpose. And a lot of these injections people are getting, there will be antidotes on hand, because it's not an exact science, you know. Small person, someone my size, different doses. Yeah. It's dangerous giving people drugs like this. So I understand that people might be cautious, but these people are at the far extreme. You know, they definitely need help. There will be antidotes available. There's people who've had these injections and they've had diazepam. I'm sure a lot of us know what diazepam is. You know, a lot of people take big amounts of diazepam. Slows you down, helps people, you know, relax. Others helps them sleep. It's taken for all sorts of things, but I'm sure a lot of us know what diazepam is. Injected straight into veins. Again, incredibly dangerous, but these people at Last Chance Saloon. So I'm going to tell you now about a lad at Strangeways. He needed this liquid Cosh. Yeah, he'd taken spice. He'd had a bad episode first time. This was his second time. He was on healthcare. The lad was going to kill himself. As a prison officer, back in mind in situations like this is preserved life. Again, I'll tell you what happened. I'll not make a judgment, but I'll tell you exactly as it happened. So there's two managers. There's a prison manager and a nurse manager. Now this lad, I'm just going off shift. This lad, where's your ball, Steve? He's at the far end now. He's going to kill himself by what he's doing in a cell. Yeah, no questions. He's not in control. He believed the devil was behind his eyes. He's not for this world. At that point, and again, this isn't me being clever. You know, if I'd have been in charge, I'd have made a decision to get in the cell and do whatever. If you needed 40 staff to sit on him so that he didn't kill himself, that's what should have been done. As it were, decision was delayed and he did irreparable damage to himself. Let me tell you now, this was about 2014. That lad needed that liquid Cosh, yeah? Somewhere, someone, humanity or whatever, should have been able to look at that situation, or the managers should have been able to get that across. This is an extreme case, and bam, floor him, give him the injection, yeah, preserve life. It didn't happen. 2014, that lad, 2021, still in hospital, mental health hospital. Been discharged from prison. His sentence was only short, 4 months, and this is another lesson from Spice. He's still in hospital. He's never left. He's in a mental health hospital, a psychiatric unit, 7 years after an episode, and he did untold damage to himself. So, you know, that is indeed a sad tale. Not a bad lad, not a bad criminal. His family now, you know, get to see the son, not as he was, and have been probably visiting him for 7 years in a hospital. So that's liquid Cosh. Charlie Bronson, Charles Salvador, as he's now known. If you're not from this country, one of the most infamous prisoners. He could fight, that lad. He was dangerous. He will definitely, he has been given liquid Cosh. You know, somebody like him arriving at a mental health hospital like Broadmoor, very dangerous, physically fit, could fight, bam. Yeah. Just you take away his weapons, his fist, he's done. It's flattened him. So that's rapid trank, liquid Cosh, various levels of drugs. I believe the Acufase, Lorgactil, that's the extreme end, but very dangerous drugs that require antidotes. So next week, I'm going to be doing a question and answer on Monday, like I've said. Tuesday, I'm going to talk about liquid Cosh a bit more in depth. Andy's very knowledgeable. So that'll be a little chat with Andy about that. Wednesday, I've got an interview. Thursday, we're going to talk about something that's very controversial from experience, not mine, thankfully. Electric shock therapy. That's putting a current through someone's brain to treat mental illness and the like, to alleviate symptoms. And to me, it's always looked barbaric. You know, on the old films where you see people who are mentally unwell, put a block of wood in the mouth, pass a current through their head, tied to a bed. Shocking. No pun intended. We'll be talking about that. So yeah, a bit of a mental health week next week, but there'll be interesting chats. There'll be an interview on a Wednesday, and Friday I'm going to give a little update on the channel and where I am, because things have changed quite rapidly for me. I watched a vlog, Crap Gamer, thanks for that mate. I went back and watched a vlog from February in the snow. I look a different person, me, I'm not well. You know, when I look where I am now, I'm in a much better place. So guys, parting shot as always, unless I cut it off today. There you go, there's my boy, Stephen. Thanks for all the comments, guys. Welcome to the new subscribers. My plan is now to get you 2 interviews a week, one Wednesday, one Sundays, continue with the vlogs. I'm enjoying doing them. Any questions, or you think you've got a story to tell? Next Sunday, got a beautiful family on the channel. Nothing to do with prison, nothing to do with being addicted, criminality. You know, just an amazing family with an amazing story. So yeah, if you've got a story to tell, get in touch. Realporridge@outlook.com. Cheers guys, thanks for coming. I'll see you.